Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaded Path, and this is your Must Know Monday for Monday, February 17th, 2020. Today, I'm going to teach you a new ring called the Interstellar ring. I wanted a ring to really showcase the beauty of the Swarovski Pearls, and I think that this ring absolutely does that. So for this ring today, you're going to need 4 6mm pearls, 2 4mm pearls, and 36 to 43mm pearls. Now you may not need the 36. If you want to make your ring band a little bit smaller, you may not need that many, but just in case, I would have at least 36 to 40 on hand. I'm going to be using an SS34 Swarovski flat back. So the flat back is completely flat on the back like a cabochon, and it has a foil backing to it. So it's a lot like a Rivoli. It just doesn't have the point to the bottom. The top of it is the crystal. The bottom is a flat foil. I'm going to be using, again, just one of those. It's like an encasement on the top of the ring. I do sell these on my website, which is offthebeadedpath there's lots of beautiful colors that this specific stone comes in. The other thing you're going to need is a size 10 or 12 beading needle along with 2 yards of thread. Now, I highly recommend for this project you use 6-pound fire line. I originally tested the first ring that I made of this with some 1G, and I tested another one with some S-line cord. I wore the one with the 1G about 2 days, and the ring band broke. The 1G and the S-line cord just did not hold up to the rubbing of the crystals on the ring band. This specific ring band I'm going to show you today is a permanent band. It's not a stretchy band, but the band can be made in a stretchy ring, so don't be concerned there if you want to switch it up. Now with the pearls, I'm using the Swarovski pearls, but you can use any type of pearl, druck bead, or non-faceted bead, and non-faceted just means it's a perfectly round bead with no facets. So we can go ahead and get started with our materials, but I did want to let you know, because I know I was going to have somebody ask, the rings, the other rings that you see me wear today, that is the bead soup ring that I showed in last week's Must Know Monday video. So if you want to see how to do it, you can go back to the channel and go back to the February 10th, 2020 video. And I also have the pattern for free on my website, which is offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Now, the earrings I have in today are a class that I actually took from Cindy Kennerson at Bead and Button. It was a fabulous class. I checked, and as far as I could see, Cindy does not have a kit for this on her website. This is just specifically a class she teaches. So if you are ever anywhere where Cindy Kennerson is going to be taking a class, make sure you take it, because she was a really great teacher. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the ring that I want to show you how to make today. This one is using the Scarabus green Swarovski pearls with a green seed bead. Here's another sample. This one is the brown Swarovski pearls. And you can see it's got a chocolate brown seed bead that goes with it. Now, I did want to show you, I haven't had a chance to redo it yet, but I did want to show you, this is the iridescent blue. I really, really like this one, but you can see where that ring band broke using the 1G thread for it. But this is the iridescent blue. And then today, the one I'm going to show you is going to be using the elderberry. So I'm using 4 6mm elderberries, 2 4mm. You're going to need the 36 to 43mm. I am using rose as my flat back. My size 11 seed bead is a Duracoat Opaque Violet Miyuki. Now, a note about your seed beads, because I forgot to tell you this earlier, definitely use Miyuki seed beads for this. The Toho seed beads, when you go to actually do your encasement here in the center, the Toho seed beads may make the encasement bigger, and it may not actually lay and keep the stone in. So I highly recommend that you use the Miyuki brand seed beads for this specific one. I'm not saying you can't use Tohos, I'm just saying you may have to change up some of your seed beads. So to get started, I've got my needle threaded with my fire line. I'm going to pick up 4 6mm beads. And the Swarovski pearls have a little bit of a smaller hole, so you kind of have to be careful. It's a little bit harder to actually get through those to see them. Okay, now I'm going to go through all 4 of these beads again. So I'm just leaving a short tail thread, only about 2 to 3 inches, and that's basically enough for me to hold on to and to be able to tie these 2 threads together. Okay, now before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to thread a needle onto this little short tail thread here, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that tail thread so it's out of my way. I don't have to bother with it and pay attention to it. So I'm just going to stitch through my beads to get rid of it. And you can take your cutters, your thread zap, whatever you have to kind of go ahead and get rid of that little piece of tail thread. Okay, so here's my knot, and I'm going to go through a bead to the left or to the right to start my beadwork. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go through this next bead here. And I'm going to pick up 6 size 11 seed beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to take my needle and I want to come back through this same bead again so that it makes a circle. If you come down through it, you're going to have a loop of beads here. We want our beads to lay around the outside of here, so we're just going to come back through the same bead so that when you pull it, your beads are going to kind of lay to the side like this. So what you actually want to do is you want to push these beads kind of up on top so they're more towards the middle of your beadwork. Now I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come through the next 6mm pearl here, and I'm basically going to do the same thing to all 3 of these pearls. I'm going to pick up 6 beads and I'm going to come back through the bead to make a circle. And again, I'm going to pull it up to the middle and go through the next 6mm. I'm going to pick up 6 beads. And I'm going to come back through the 6mm. One more time, go through the 6mm here. And I'm going to pick up 6 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to come back through the bead again. Okay. Now, I have my beads here, and right now it looks like there's not really enough, it doesn't look like you have enough beads around it, but I do, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. I'm going to continue on through one more 6mm, and then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go up through 4 of the beads that I have here. So 4 of the 6. So I'm going to go through 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going through 4 of the 6. I'm going to hold those beads and pull the thread straight out like that. So now I'm working in the opposite direction. I'm going to pick up 1 3mm and I'm going to go through the middle 2 beads here of this next set of 6. So I'm going to see if I can come in a little bit so you can see it. So there's my 6 if I hold it like that, and you'll see those 2 beads there. That's what I'm going to go through, and I'm going to pull this. Now when I pull it, I am not going to pull it tight. I'm just going to leave it very loose. So I'll take the needle, pop over here to my next little arch of beads, and go through the middle 2 beads. Pick up 1 bead, jump to this next arch of beads and go through the middle 2. And I've got to do this one more time. We're basically going to be adding 4 3mm here on the top. So I'm going to pick up 1 more 3mm, and I'm going to go through the middle 2 beads of my next set of 6. This will be actually the set that I started with. So you can see now I have a little open circle of a 4 and 2 11s, a 4 and 2 11s all the way around. I've left it loose because now I'm going to take my flat back crystal. You can see here on the back the foil backing on it, and I'm going to put it down inside of this little encasement, and I want it to be face up. So I want to see the color on that stone. And then I'm going to pull this thread tight, and you'll see when I pull it tight, it pulls it all in together so that it cinches up these beads, and now I have this actually encased nicely. Now it's still really loose because we did not pull it tight. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to reinforce, and each time I go through a bead, I'm going to pull the thread straight out the way it's coming out of the bead to help and tighten this encasement up. I normally go through the beads here in the center of this encasement about 3 times. This will just help to pull everything nice and tight, cinch it up so you don't have to worry about that stone ever coming out of the encasement. And you see I'm only doing this 1 3mm at a time and 2 seed beads at a time. If you try to do more than that, it just basically is going to kind of get wonky. So you just want everything to stay nice and pretty and straight. And if you go around and you're like, oh heck, I don't know if I've been around this thing 3 times or what, as long as your beadwork you feel is secure in here, you are going to be fine with the encasement. So this is what I've got so far, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go down through the beads to come out of a 6mm. Does not matter which one you come out of, you just want to make sure that it's one where you are not going to see the thread sticking out around your bead. Okay, so far this is what I've got. Now I'm coming out at the top of my bead here. This time I'm going to pick up 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 11s. And again, I want to make a circle, so I'm going to come around and back up through the same bead so that it will make a circle, and the beads will be wrapped around the outside of my stone, and that's exactly what I want it to do. Now I'm going to pick up 1 11 and I'm going to come through the next 6mm. Now this is where my 4s are going to come into play here. I'm going to pick up 3 11s, 1 4mm, and 3 11s. I'm going to go back through this same bead one more time to make a circle. And you will see my beads lay to the side like this, and this is exactly what I want. Now this is actually the first part of the shank for my ring band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through this section of beads that I've added. I'm going to go back through these beads to reinforce, and more than likely, just like I did the top, I'm going to go through this section of beads 3 about 3 times to reinforce it, so that way I do not have to worry about the ring band coming detached. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so once you've got it reinforced, you are going to pick up 111 and go through the next pearl. We're filling in any little holes that we may have here along the side. So now I'm going to pick up 7 11s. Again, I'm going to come around and I'm going to go through this same bead again. Okay, and now I'm going to pick up 111. I'm going to go through the next pearl. So I guess you've probably guessed it by now. If I've done an arch of beads here, a ring band and an arch of beads, I'm going to have another little ring band shank here on this side. So again, that's 3 11s, 1 4mm, and 3 11s. I'm going to come back through the same bead again. And just like I did on this side, I'm going to reinforce this. And we just reinforce. We're not going to add anything. We're just going through the beads. So that way it's nice and tight. Okay, so that's how we do the little reinforcement. I'm going to do this a couple more times and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got that reinforced, and now we need to pick up 1 more 11 and go through the first 6mm that we started with. This will complete the round, and it will put a size 11 seed bead in each of these corners here to kind of cover the holes up. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through the 11, the 6mm, and by this point it should be getting pretty tight to get through these 6mm. And then I'm going to stitch through to come out of the 4mm. Doesn't matter if I come out of this one or if I stitch all the way over here to come out of this one, because we're going to be adding the band for the ring. Now this is right angle weave is what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to pick up 3 of these 3mm. My thread is coming out of the bottom of this 4mm, so I'm going to come back down through the same bead to make a circle. So that now I've got a little box of beads here. Now, because of the type of bead this is, each box, right angle weave box that I make, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce that box. So I'm coming out of the 4mm that I started this little set with, and now I'm going to continue on through 2 more 3s. So I'm going to go through this one and this one. And I'm going to pick up 3 3mm. And I'm going to come back through this same bead again to make a circle. Now, just like I said, because of the type of pearl this is, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce the box. Okay, so I've completely gone around again to reinforce, and now I'm going to come along through the next 2 3mm, which is going to be this bead and this bead. And then I'll be ready to do my next right angle weave box. So I'm going to continue doing my little right angle weave boxes till I have almost the length that I need, less this box that I'm going to have to add here. So continue on with your band, and I'll be right back with you. So once you get to the desired length of your band, you will be ready to connect the 2 ends together. So I kind of just take it and put it around my finger like this. Makes it a little bit easier. For this sample, I am coming out of the right side of the last right angle weave box. I'm picking up one 3mm, and I'm going to go through the 4mm here on the other ring band shank, and I'm going to go through this bead from right to left so that it'll pop a bead here where it needs to be. And then I'm going to pick up one 3mm. I'm coming out of the left side here, so I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go through this 3mm from left to right to finish out that last right angle weave box. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce this box of beads, and then I'm going to use any amount of leftover thread that I have, and I'm going to use this to reinforce this band until I've got just a little bit left, and then I will show you how to tie off the thread. Alright, so I have just a couple inches of thread left here, and I'm going to go ahead and tie off. Now I am coming out of this bead here, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go under the thread between these two 3mm. I'm going to leave myself just a little loop. I'm going to go through that loop once more, and I'm going to pull that thread tight, making sure the loop goes right there in between those beads. Now I can put another knot right there at it, or I can stitch through a couple of beads, and I can do the same thing. I can go under the thread there between those two beads, leave a little loop, and stick the needle through that loop. When you pull the thread, make sure it goes where you want it to go in between those two beads. Now I'm not going to bother with putting a whole lot of knots in here or little half hitches, because I have used up almost every bit of my thread. So I don't have to worry really about this ring band coming undone just unless the thread breaks. So I pretty much will just continue to stitch it until I can't get it through anymore. And then you will take a cutter, whatever you want to do, and trim off the thread so that you have your completed Interstellar ring. So this is the elderberry. Again, this is the scarabus green, the brown, which is so pretty, and the blue. This is the iridescent blue pearl. So you can see you have lots of color choices when it comes to the Interstellar ring and the Swarovski pearls. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make the Interstellar ring. I do have kits available as well as a step-by-step pattern on my website, which is offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. And if you're not already subscribed, please hit that red subscribe button right below this video to be able to get updated on all the videos that we have here at Off the Beaded Path. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.